Hello. Welcome back to the Ark Editor. Today I don't really have too much of a goal in mind yet, but we will see where this goes. Let me just get this cover image off real quick, and we're good. All right, so we're back on the Pacific Rim kind of idea island that we're working on. And today I'm kind of trying to think on what I want to work on. What did I do? I zoomed in. Okay, well, don't press C. No, that's nice to know. Definitely nice to know. Okay, so I'm thinking kind of what we do today is work on some of the geographic locations, like the mountains, some of the hills, and stuff of that sort. So we're going to be no, don't ask about that. We're going to be looking at the images. So we're going to be going back to pictures. Here we go. Looking at this. I'm going to be using this in the topographic map right here to kind of get the blueprint, I guess, in order. So this, like, the darker outlines seem to be cliff sides, right? And then you have the closer together, which indicate the rate of change when it comes to the actual, like, cliffs and stuff like that, like the elevation change. So you can kind of see how it just generally works. So what we're going to do is I'm thinking that we kind of start over here, because I'd be honest with you, I'm not really good at getting these in order. I guess this one right here would be pretty cool to kind of start on, and then kind of just go from there. Yeah, we'll start with Kaiju Peak and kind of work our way down from there. Okay. So I'm looking at this right now. We cut the island in half. The upper end of the island is kind of the summit, and then this should be relatively flat land. Alrighty, so we're going to be looking at this now. Kind of using this one to help base it. I'm going to move this one off the screen to the left. Every once in a while, I'll kind of pull it back up as a reference image. But with that being said, we're going to continue. Alright, so we are on the lower ends of the map. So we're going to go over here. So we're going to cut this in half. Say right here is the city, right? I'm going to keep this area flat. I'm going to be using this, I guess. This is the start of the summit, and it's going to get more narrow and much higher as you go right here. So what I'm thinking of doing is doing this. So I have a sculpt tool I could use to do more drastic changes. So right now I have a very small brush size. So if I wanted to, I could, in theory, bear with me, turn this to, I think it caps out at 600,000. So we're going to be putting this at 200,000. And let's see how, 65,000. I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. That would work as the summit. Or at least the peak. So kind of right here. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna and I guess that's as high as it gets. Let's what I would recommend is it's called bin base pose. It's basically a stand-in for the player, if I can find it. This map is massive, so it's kind of hard to locate these little guys. To put it in perspective, this map is supposed to be on par with Astros in terms of size, like from end to end. So let me do the selection. We're doing this, right? I'm going to press this on the right side of the screen, and that should, in theory, yeah, it should highlight it. So just to clarify, with what you're seeing right here, these little arrows, these are the X, Y, and Z planes. So I would describe kind of like looking top down is kind of the way I do it. It's X is the green, Y is red, and Z is blue. So Z would be elevation, you know, these would just obviously be position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag the appropriate arrow to the area that we're looking at so that we can help gauge how big this mountain actually is. So it's kind of hard with these bigger maps to really get close enough to these creatures or these, you know, people, because I mean, look at that scale, man. Like, okay, alrighty. So looking at this is a very tall, like, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this down a little bit. So we're going to use the sculpt tool. So we're going to be going back to the landscape since we're done with the bin pose. We're going to go to landscape, which is going to deselect that automatically for us. And what we're going to do here to kind of help put this back down a little bit, or kind of help regulate the height on it, is we're going to take the eyedropper, which when you put it in a specific spot, it grabs the elevation of wherever that is and uses that as the template. So right now we're wanting to lower this upper end, and you can see the grid kind of shade in as you move your mouse over it, and that kind of shows that it's working or it's selected. So what we're going to do is, since we're trying to lower as opposed to raise it, we're going to change the raise down to the lower. Okay, so when we do this, we're going to kind of take a step back. All right, so right now we just kind of want it to all right, so that should help it. This, so let me test something real quick, and I will get right back to the recording. Let me just check and make sure this does what I think it's going to, because I don't want to give y'all any bad information. Alrighty, sorry about that. I'm back. I was trying to see what the terrace version of the flatten mode does. I couldn't quite get it. If anybody knows what that's all about, please enlighten me, because that, I get the feeling that that'd be really helpful to learn, and I don't know, I just don't know how to do it, and it's utterly puzzling to me. It's kind of wild, honestly. So what we're going to do, we're going to continue to do what we were doing before. So now that we have the height of the volcano down, right, I'm going to start on the bottom, try to get the plateau or the curve towards the bottom, because I want to see how far out I want to do it, so that it's more applicable or more like a volcano than it is now. So what we're going to do is we're going to fall off is we're going to try that. I'm going to try this and see what it does. And then we're going to take this, figure out how tall we want this plateau. There we go. Okay, yeah, that kind of works. It's working at least. Okay, yeah. So we could do this and kind of flatten target. We're going to do the raise because we still want to get this summit, right? And I would say we cut it right around here and kind of raise it up a little bit more narrow. Sorry. I keep pressing it. I think they changed something recently where it's like kind of messing with that in particular, and it's kind of annoying. Why is it doing that? Let me restart this. So just to clarify, I'm using the Control Z function to reset this back to what it was before, so that I'm not losing this progress by trying to erase it all. It just gets rid of whatever I did before that kind of, or in that previous action. Sorry, let's get this out the fucking way. Sorry. Why isn't this going away? There we go. Let's go on. You know what that was about. Okay. What is this? Come on. Sorry about that. That's really weird. Alright, we're gonna use this. We're gonna use the dropper tool because apparently that's not wanting to work right. It's being very hinky. I don't like that. Yeah. And we could use like weathering and stuff like that to kind of give it some more depth later. I'm kind of wanting to... There it goes. Okay. We're going to turn the strength down. We're going to take this and kind of smooth out these edges a little bit. All right. So we're going to take a gander at this. Give it more of a little bit more of a gradient than what it has right now. Because right now it's kind of honestly ghastly. I don't really like it as much as I thought I would. But it's starting to take form, and that's the part that matters. The fine detailing can come a bit later, but yeah, this is what we're looking at right now, and I actually kind of like that being there. Just if I can get rid of that top, it'll Yeah, right. Let me use the smooth tool and see if I can't get that out. Gotta keep doing it. We're going to do the flatten tool on this now. Now that it has that kind of top part that I wanted. So now I'm going to go through here, take this, and we're going to do the lower since it's higher than the plane that I'm trying to get rid of. And I need to turn this brush down because if I left it like it was, then it would have caused a bigger issue. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. That's great. Okay. Got it. All right, so right here we are. So we're going to use the smoothing tool. We're going to turn this up to a 4. All right. The brush fall off is too high. I forgot. Fudge sticks, guys. See, I want to get it kind of equal, kind of like hover above it and do it that way. So let's do, we'll do 45K. Okay, we're going to use the flatten tool again. Sorry. We're going to use it again and kind of cut this down in half to cut the kind of the effort on the top part a little bit down. We're just going to shave down the top a little bit so it's not so cone-like. I apologize that this is not going as well as I thought it would, but like I said in one of my older videos, it's a learning curve, and well, I myself am still learning it, and yeah. Although, despite, yeah, I think I'm doing pretty well for, what I've started on. Pretty sure that turned this concave. Yeah, that's not good. Not what I wanted. Okay. I want to do the Control Z and kind of walk that one back. Because we want it all to kind of do that, and it just didn't. So. Come on. It's taking its sweet time loading. So. Let's try it again. There we go. Yes, there we go. There we go. There we go. Gotta wait for it to save. Love that part, yeah. We're gonna turn the fall off, and we're gonna go above. Okay. We're gonna do the smoothing. I'm gonna turn this up. Give it some more definition on the sides too while I'm at it. That works. Yes. Okay, so we're going to raise this. We're going to turn the strength down. And then brush fall off is going to be high. And then I do want the tools, sorry, the brush size to be, what was that? That was 55K, so we'll try 35K, see what that looks like. All right. Try 45K though. I basically want it right on the inside of that ledge. It'd be easier to kind of do at that point. Yeah. Alright, so that works. Now I need to... Alright, so what I want to do now is, I like this top as it is. Kind of need to do some more work on the sides, but that's kind of obvious. Right now, the volcano is there. So it's a matter of adding like the porthole or whatever you want to call it, the nozzle with the volcano in. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the flatten tool as opposed to the erase tool, and I will show you exactly why. So I'm going to turn this down a little bit so it doesn't get rid of everything. So if you get rid of this, it's super steep. So there's no real gradient to it, which means that there's not real any texture on the inside of it, as it is just these kind of cliff sides, you know, if you see them like that. So we don't want that. So taking that back out with Control Z to undo. So what I'm going to use, because I do want this to have some usability inside of the volcano, like a wyvern volcano or something like that. Like, to a degree, it would have maybe the magma chamber be down here, so you'd be able to go that far down and use this entire area, which doesn't seem like a lot, you know, backed up like this, but if you take into account the little guy that we had as the standpoint, it's pretty big, actually. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the flatten tool. We're going to use the lower. We're going to use the eyedropper. And then we're going to determine where we're going to want this magma chamber. So because the magma chamber can be subterranean as well, so I'm thinking about right here. All right, so we're going to do this. We're going to do 15K. We still have the fall off pretty high because sorry. There we go. So that still has it a little bit, but it's easier to use this as your standpoint. So you see what I mean? Like this right here can branch off into the sides of the volcano. So it's kind of like a cave, smaller cave system, you know. And then like below that you have the magma chamber if you wanted to make it kind of appropriate to a degree. Or, you know, like your magma swords are the more like aggressive, yeah, flame creatures like your what are they called? The flame lion things. I forget what they're called sometimes. Anyway, that's the it's the volcano for the most part. I kind of like it. I think it kind of works. There you go. And now it's smoother. All right, so this, like, you can kind of see that it is a volcano, and it seems really kind of plain at the moment. So, what we're going to do is we're going to put a bunch of noise around. We don't want the lower. I always forget that part. Add. Tool strength is going to be lower. Do better on that. Fall off. This is going to be here. I kind of like that. We'll see. We can get this out later if we don't like it. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to use the erosion tool and kind of or no. Iteration. We're going to do this. Turn down the tool strength because that seems a little bit high. Okay. How great it would be to fall in there. Why did it do that though? Got it. Okay. Why is it doing that? Control Z. It's so weird. Yeah. Okay. So once I finish this up, I'll go ahead and end the recording. So just to kind of clear up, you know, this was just kind of me messing around. It's kind of me dipping my toes back into it after taking a prolonged break. I'm sorry that I didn't get a lot done today, but I do feel like it was a very productive day. it was definitely worth it to at least get a foothold down with this island in particular, because now I can actually work on the outer rim. So I'm thinking taking it one island at a time is definitely the way to go. So if you wouldn't mind, I would very much appreciate y'all hitting the like button and sharing the video for those that are interested in this type of thing. Um, I'm going to do my best to get better at the posting schedule and getting more done in these videos and learning when to turn turn it off and kind of fix my stuff independently as opposed to talking to y'all while I do it. Um, yeah. But as I said, if y'all wouldn't mind, I would very much appreciate y'all sharing these videos and kind of getting them out there into the ether and the recommended page so that more people can benefit and see these videos to help them on their own Ark creation journey. Anyway, that's all from me. Yeah, I'll talk to y'all soon. Talk to y'all later. Stay safe.